Hello, welcome to BBC. Today you have a host guest, Gishe Dadul. I'm really very happy. I'm looking forward that I could also serve as your host guest tomorrow. Well, recently we have all been witness to natural disasters like hurricanes after hurricanes, and then very recently, a very disastrous earthquake in Mexico. And I was in Atlanta at that time. I also had my share of hurricane in that the wind kind of blew in the direction of my door and then blew in water, which I didn't know after a while, until a while, and my mattress got wet. And then from there, I just got some hint of what people had gone through, where just about everything got damaged. By the way, in terms of attending to the damaged mattress, what I did was I borrowed a hair dryer, from a colleague, a female colleague of mine, and she was wondering, what are you doing? See, then I told her, see, I've been indoors for the whole day, whole night. Overnight, I had grown my hair so much that now it's difficult to dry it out after. But then I told her what it was, and she even agreed. She even offered to lend her fan also. So between the two, I was able to take care of my mattress. But then in the meantime, I was really thinking more of those who had almost lost everything. Just about everything got drenched, useless, taken out, sent away, and then to be replaced, who knows until what time it would be covered. So my thought was there. Along with that, what I recalled in my own case, and I think in the case of others, death became very real. Death became very real. Once again, everyone got reminded of death. In a way, when I also was reflecting on my own thoughts about that, and I came to realize that, well, it's because of the natural disasters that it became kind of very real. Otherwise, it is as real every day, every time. This precious life of ours could be taken away any time. Just recently, I also was listening to the news, and I saw Senator McCain's commenting on that, saying, everyone has to die one way or the other. Particularly, he was going through his own physical condition of having gone through that cancerous operation and whatnot. So, once again, this is a reminder to the fact that this life, as wonderful as it is, there's no guarantee how long it will go on like this. And one that is very 100% guaranteed is that it will be gone one day. How soon, in what ways, we don't know. So once again, it is a reminder for us all to live well while we have it. As the expression goes, make hay while there's sunshine. Make the best, make the most of one's living while one has that. There's no doubt that it will be gone one day. What ways, how soon, there's no guarantee. Well, what about after that? Not many of us think about that. Some even deliberately deny that there is an aftermath. Or some try their best to avoid thinking about it until the very last time when they had no choice but to face it. And at that time, the available researches show that people awfully go through very difficult period that they don't difficult time before their death, which could have been averted. A very famous Swiss-born psychiatrist, American psychiatrist, psychologist, I think, by the name of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, did a wonderful, groundbreaking research, in the course of which she found out how people, those who are dying and those who are left behind, go through what she would call, and has become very popular, the 5 stages of grief and bereavement. Beginning with denial, followed by anger, despair, bargain, and eventually no choice but to accept. How about accepting it right away? We don't have to go through those stages and not suffer. And our transition will be much, much easier. And if at all there is something following it, that would have been also taken care of. Because in the meantime, having accepted it, having faced it, we would have no choice but to live well. So it is a win-win situation. We better really think about it beforehand. And as I'm always saying, do open an insurance account. Do deposit something in there so that we could, if at all there is an aftermath, we could right away be sure of a deposit to draw from. And good thing about this is this insurance company would not be owned by anyone. Nobody else can own at all. One has to run it. One has to got the opportunity to be the CEO of this company and set all the rules, whatever, like premiums, everything. One has got the full choice, full freedom. So, depending on whatever our capacities are, do our best in really making sure that one lives well here and now. And that is the way by which one could naturally be depositing in that account as well. So it's not like to do that one has to neglect the here and now, but rather should be fully living here and now, sensibly, by which everything would have been taken care of. By the way, all the major religions speak of something after. I don't think all of them could have mistaken. And on top of this, those who are at the helm of the research in this area, at best, they aren't sure. I remember one of those interviewees on that People's Pharmacy where they say, right now, they don't have the answer. Someone who was long into this research says life is much more bizarre, as I would like to call it, much more bizarre than it looks. So things are not that clear-cut, at least to those who are at the helm of the research. Who are we to decide that there isn't? By the way, there is a trend going on. Even among those who call themselves Buddhist, they are busy calling their brand of Buddhism secular Buddhism, taking away all of those parts which they consider cultural, unneeded, whatnot, including the question of karma across life, including the question of rebirth. Where in the world did they get that conviction? Those at the helm of the research don't. Where in the world do they? Wow, I keep questioning them. Just recently on NPR, a fellow host on radio program was interviewing someone who has done wonderful research in Buddhism and has so much to share and contribute to. And at one point he said, oh, there is much need for even understanding the background philosophies of Buddhism to benefit from it. I was very optimistic what he might come up with, but he lost no time in saying, but not rebirth. I said, how come? How sure you are about it? If at all we consider rebirth a possibility, it doesn't mean that we would require to leave something, do something else. We could be doing same thing, but qualitatively different way. The how part of it would be then qualitatively transformed if we take that into consideration, while at the same time going about our way of doing the same thing that we need to be doing. But be very clear, I don't get a dime here in advertising about rebirth or the possibility of karma. No, not from the BBC Corporation. All it does, at least in my case, it brings in an extra incentive to live well, to live sensibly, and take more precaution against wrongful ways of living, wrongful ways of wasting our time. So maybe we are coming close to the time. I'd like to really quote a fellow radio host who typically ends his program by saying, "Be well, do good job, stay in touch." Who could that be? Garrison Keillor. I have my own take here. Be well by generating love and compassion enjoined with wisdom. Be well from that bottom up. And then there is all possibility of doing good job coming from there. But at the same time, don't forget to keep in touch with others. Be open. You will be surprised, overwhelmed by how much we can learn from people. People just don't stop teaching us. Once again, this is our time for today. But remember to tell people about the BBC broadcast. See you tomorrow.